learned how to survive before I learned what love felt like, because the man who was supposed to protect me didn't. Growing up in a household where it was just my grandparents, which is my father's parents, and my father, I learned very quickly that I had to depend on myself if I wanted to survive. I had to depend on myself if I wanted to be happy, right? Because to these people, you're a burden. It's like your presence alone is enough to upset and anger them, right? That's why growing up with my father, I used to go to my bed right after school at 3 o'clock because I felt like it was out of sight, out of mind, right? I didn't want to be in the way bothering him. So I tried to stay as far away as possible. And that's what pushed me to look outside for love, right? So there goes the soul of an innocent young girl that just wanted to be loved, now looking for love in the wrong places, which is how she attracts these cold souls. But the cold souls are only a reflection of the man she once begged to love her but couldn't see past his own pain, past his own life struggles, right? Now 16, alone in a shelter, hungry, my father's getting checks from me, right? Getting checks for me from the government, but won't help me with food for his grandson. So he's cashing in checks that I get none of because he has bills, he has responsibilities, right? The government asks, do I want to charge him? And I say no, because at the end of the day, he's still my father. I played the role of the forgiving daughter for many years. The forgiving daughter when my father came to my mother's house and beat me so bad that my neck was swollen, black, blue, and purple. The police came to the school looking at my swollen neck and asked if I wanted to press charge. And I said, no, he is my father. Leave him. You know, I was a child who got beaten literally daily. And did I do anything to deserve the beatings? No. He was just an angry soul. As an adult, 20 years old, I remember having this conversation with him where I asked him, what made you so angry and bitter towards me? Why did you beat me so often for things I didn't even do? And like, it was like little things too. I remember standing in the kitchen one day washing the dishes. I was 11, and he came, felt the water, and he said the water wasn't hot enough, and punched me in my chest, and I fell down, gasping for air. I'm asthmatic, so it took me a while to get back up, but when I did, I learned very quickly that in order for me to get affection in the way I so desired affection, I learned that I would have to people please. I learned very quickly what to do so this man would no longer be upset with me, right? So I would no longer be a target in his eyes. I did not want to be a target. I wanted to be seen as me, for who I truly am. But that was never the case, because in his eyes, I was only a helper. I remember living in the shelter. This was my first Christmas with my son. We were in the shelter, and he came to pick me up. This was the first time I went to his house since being in the shelter, and it was for Christmas. And I so clearly remember him wanting me to clean his house. And I was like, I didn't want to clean his house, but it was like awful. And so I was like, all right, I'll do it. Plus, you know, who wants to be in a shelter? You're 16, like with a baby, right? So I was like, all right, cool. I will clean your house for you. And in the midst of that, I asked him to hold the baby, which was my eldest son. I asked him to hold him because I'm cleaning your house. I can't clean and hold the baby at the same time. And he got so mad, and it was just this big fight. Like, what kind of a mother are you? Why do you need me to hold your son? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm cleaning this man's house for him, right? I don't live there. And I remember I said, you know, if you can't help me with my son, how am I going to clean your house? I can't clean your house then. And he said, you know what? If you're not going to clean my house, you're going to go back to your lonely shelter. And so that's where we went. We went back to the shelter, right? And that same visit, he blamed my son for so much different things. My son couldn't even walk. He had just been born that previous March. He couldn't even walk. So I was like, you know what? this isn't the environment for me. And that's when I started to like distance myself. I started to distance myself from him. And I would still go around my grandmother, which is his mother. And, I would tell them about how I felt about him on a whole. Like, he was very bitter towards me, very angry towards me, and I could never figure out why. But anyways, that leads me back to the conversation when I was 20 or 19 or whatever. And I asked him and I said, what made you so bitter and angry towards me? And his response was he must have been sexually frustrated, and that's why he took out his anger on me. Those were his exact words. Yep. Those were his exact words. And, I feel like just the relationship with my father on a whole really, really affected me in ways that sometimes I wish not even to speak on, because just him saying that was so disturbing to me, because I told you about the way I grew up. Like, his house was so disturbing, so disturbing. And so it's like, I don't know, like, and he was always like, there's like such like, okay, like, I remember this was after I had my son. I remember this, I've never even said this, but I'm going to say this because just to like just put it out there, because it's been bothering me, it's been disturbing my soul. But like, man's just creepy. I remember when I had my son and I went to my mother's house, because as I said, I was always like kind of like begging for these people to like see me. So I remember going back to her house, and anyways, my father must have just come back from vacation with one of his young children, woman that he's always with. And he was like, oh, on his phone's wallpaper, I don't even, anyways, he had a picture of oral on his phone screen. And it was the disgusting, sickening way he was trying to like make eye contact with me while openly having his phone open. Like, the man has just always been, oh my God. And then I remember, oh my goodness, like, he's just always been a creep. And I remember when I was moving one time and my older cousin was in the car with me, and we went to go get a moving truck. Okay, so my father was driving the U-Haul. I had to pay him to drive the U-Haul for me because I didn't have a license. Well, I had a license at the time, but I think you had to have like a G or something, or there was some kind of requirement that I did not meet. And like, I was sitting in the front with them, and then like the truck was like, the truck is bumpy, and he was telling my cousin how I like the vibrations of the truck. What? And that's why I don't really go around that man, because like the man's always saying some like offhanded, like some crazy stuff. And I don't know, like, I just feel like I've had enough. Like, there's so much things I refuse to let myself remember right now, or to even think about, because my experiences as his daughter have been so out of this world crazy that it makes me so, like, it makes me paranoid, like extremely paranoid, like, and that, it makes me paranoid, like, and then it leaks into parenting, because now when people ask like for my daughter to sleep over, the answer is just no, because I don't trust anybody at all. Like, I don't like, especially how for me, there was SA in the house with like somebody that I guess would be a minor, so you wouldn't be expecting them to do those things, right? Like stuff like, ooh. But then what I've learned is that kids who do that, usually someone had did it to them. So that even that makes me like really, really just sit there and wonder. Like, there's so many different things there's so many different like rabbit holes within my family, within my relatives, my old relatives, because these are my family, not my kids, my new family, right? Or my only family. But there's so many different rabbit holes I can go into within the bloodline, because it's like, it's so disturbing. It's so disturbing. Yeah, I just don't trust nobody. And I never had. I remember one time when, okay, so randomly sometimes, like, my brother, mostly I would bring up stuff like that, about myself, like how I don't trust people, whatever. Or like, where we're talking, me and my brother would be talking or whatever. My dad would be like, oh yeah, you've let me change your daughter's diaper before. First of all, no, you have never changed my daughter. Never. And the fact that he would even say that lie outward is why I would never trust him around any of my kids. Because why would he even feel the need to lie like that? And then my daughter's diet. Like, everything about him disgusts me. Like, I don't know if it's because, like, I'm just, like, so disgusted with him as a person, why I never trusted him with my child, but he's not somebody I trust. And if anybody was to have any accusations about him, the answer is yes, he did do it, and I will stand beside you in court, because I believe that man is, I've literally with my own two eyes watched this man. This was before I got pregnant. This was like when he got married to that woman in Jamaica. But anyways, I was in the house with them, and I've watched him checking out her little 16-year-old daughter while I was there with them. Okay, he's seen me see him watching her daughters. Okay, if anybody was to ever come up with any kind of accusation against that man, I will stand up right there, right hand on the Bible, whatever you guys want to do, because guess what? I know who he is. I know his true character. And I'm not, just like I told his mother, I am not going to enable any of his disgusting, piggish behavior. Never. It'll never be me. No. Anyways, that was my venting for today, because I could see that I'm getting a little riled up. And I would like to forget about this. So, like, yeah. So I just wanted to share, because I know I'm supposed to share, like, and, like, I think that it's so disgusting for girls to be with their fathers just raised by single dads. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe there are single dads that are great. I don't know. My vision is just, I don't, like, because I'm, like, it's just so horrible. And then, you know, it's like when you grow up in an environment like that, you cannot stop questioning your children. Like, I am so paranoid of these things, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, I literally seen so much. I've seen so much. I've kept quiet about so much. And I just feel like that was clearly on my chest to come up. Because it's just on my fucking chest. Because, bro, and y'all don't even know. And sometimes my kids be asking me to talk about this man. And I'm just like, I'm like, when I tell you guys don't want to know. I'm like, honey, you guys really don't want to know. Like, you don't want to know. Don't. Like, literally, when I was going through my little period of time in my early 20s when I didn't want to be here anymore. I guess that's the word I'm going to use, because I don't want to say anything. You know what I'm saying? That was literally the reason why I'm still here. Because every time I thought about it, and like, oh my God, like, what if they gave my kids to my dad? I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, I will suffer through this. I will keep pushing. Because under no circumstances is that something I would ever want to happen. Ew. He is not a safe person. Okay. And then it's like my whole thing is birds of a feather flock together. So if he's a predator and a little predator, and you know what? This story is not about his friend. Anyways, guys, love and light. Love and light. I'll share more at another time, because like this felt really healing. Like, I feel like I can definitely go inside and like attempt to eat, because honest to God, like, I don't know if this happens to other people, but I feel like sometimes when I don't like share my experiences and I keep them bottled up, and it's just like bothering me, I don't know, I find myself like not eating, or like I'll start to eat and then I'll feel like so disgusted and just like can't eat, you know. It's like take like a 1-2 bite and I'm just like done, car. But anyways, I came back to show off little baby again with my video. Anyways, guys, I speak truths. I speak on my life, my experience, and honestly, I usually try to like give you spiritual reasons, things behind things, but obviously it's he's clearly very low vibrational. Like, I can't even get into that right now about his dynamics. I actually did like, okay, so what I did do is I've started to like, okay, so I'm a channeler, so what I do is I channel messages from, I guess, my divine vessel, source, angels, you know. And so I've been like writing about it, you know, the patterns, what's going on. So I guess like in that aspect I can make videos about it, because I do have it written down, like the spiritual aspect about it, and I can do that. But I'll have to go meditate first and become calm. Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much for listening to me. I really appreciate it.